Hello viewers, my name is Jacob. This is Moral Compass, where we talk about our children, where we talk about how we can be better parents, what we can do better to raise children of value, to build and rebuild the foundation, which is our children. But I'm here to talk to you, parents. How can you do it? Today we're going to talk on modeling good behavior. What is modeling good behavior? Modeling good behavior is becoming a role model to your children, being what you say to your children, or being what you expect your children to be. Go nna se o eletsang gore bana ba gago ba nne sone. Here's the thing, you have to understand that children learn from observation, not from listening. Bana ga ba ithuti ka go reetsa, ba ithuta ka go lebelela. That is one important thing you have to learn, or you have to understand as a parent, that it doesn't matter how many times you talk to your children, they are watching you. They are watching you, how you are disrespectful, how you don't have self-control. They are watching you, how you are not kind to people, how you don't have good conduct, how you don't have good communication skills. They are watching you. And what you are acting to them is exactly what they are going to act out into the world. Se o leng sone ga pele ga ngwana gago ke sone se ngwana gago a tlo go nnang sone, e seng se o se buang. Se o se buang ngwana gago o tla se reetsa ga e le gore se o leng sone se tsamaelana le se o se buang. Because children observe us, because they are looking at us, ba re lebeletse, ba lebeletse gore ehe motsadi wa me o ntse jaana le jaana le jaana, so go raya gore le nna ke a go nna jaana le jaana le jaana. So because we have already established that children learn from what they see more than they learn from what they hear, it is important for you to be a role model to your own children. Why is it important? Because children imitate adult behavior naturally. It is the biological makeup of a child, the psychological makeup of a child. In their growth, it is natural for them to mimic adult behavior or to mimic the behavior of another person. Let me explain this to you in simple terms. Ga e ka re ngwana a le monnye bo mo tsaya o mma pele ga gago a sa itse sepe e le gona a ithutang go bua, o bo mora o re tola or mora o re jump without you acting it, that child is going to look at you, o tlo go lebelela hela le ga go sa kgathaletse gore wa go bua tola go le kae, until wena o mmontsha that action ya gore tola ke ra gore o dire jang, sit down ke ra gore o dire jang, o mmontsha. That same principle applies in the child's life, in the child's entire life. That is how they learn self-control. When they look at you as a parent, when something goes wrong and they see that my mother, my father has self-control. But the problem that most of us parents do is that we lack the self-control, and then we expect our children to have that self-control. And then we demonstrate that lack of self-control. For example, you will be in a family as a parent, and then your spouse does something wrong. You yell at them in front of your children. You omanya mokapelo wa gago ga pele ga bana ba gago. Ba lebeletse your reaction towards that situation. And if you react in lack of self-control, they are going to do the same thing at school. They're going to do the same thing when they grow up at work. They're going to do the same thing in their relationships. That is how they learn. So it is important because it is important for you to understand that children naturally mimic your behavior. They mimic what you do. They copy what you do. Why else is it important to model good behavior? It makes discipline believable and fair. Imagine, imagine someone comes to you and tells you, you're not supposed to drink in this zone. And then the next thing you see that person drinking. As an adult, hela o le mogolo, o bona motho a nwa ha a go reetse a re wena ga wa tshwana go nwa teng. It causes confusion to you. Le wena o le mogolo ha o kwa follower se motho a se buang, because that person is breaking their own rules. So it is very difficult for you to believe that rule or for you to believe that behavior. Same applies to our children. When you model good behavior, when you talk self-control or you talk about being kind to people, and then they see it mo go wena o le kind, they also automatically, everything lines up. Go make a sense mo go bona gore okay, this is what my mother or my father said to me ka being kind, and this is what I see my mother doing, this is what I see my father doing. So most of us parents, we lack in this area because what we expect our children to become is not what we are. We are not acting out the behaviors that we expect our children to act out. Sometimes I look at the schools, how children are disrespectful to teachers, and I relate to the home. I relate to the home environment. Gore ngwana yo o bonang a kgona go emelela a ba a buisa teachera lehoko le le sa siamang, kgotsa a buisa ngwana yo mongwe lehoko le le sa siamang ga pele ga bana ba bangwe, go mo go tsaya ko lapeng. Go tsaya ko lapeng ga teng ke gore o itlhela le gore motsadi ko lapeng kana batsadi ko lapeng ba buisana jalo, mme ba solela gore ngwana ene a se ka bua jalo ga a bua le batho. That is a contradiction, and it's a serious contradiction that causes damage to the child's behavior. Ka gore ene sa golang a se bona se diragala ke sone sa tang a dumela gore ke sone se tshwanetseng go dirwa. So ha o itsaya sentle, o itshwara sentle ga pele ga ngwana wa gago, go nna motho gore a dumele boitsholo jo bo buang, jo bo rerang gore ngwanaka go diwa dilo jaana, ga o bua o mmolelela go motho gore a kgone go go dumela ha go bona o dira selo sa teng. It builds respect and trust. This is the major complaint in the society today. Our children are very disrespectful. Our children don't trust us. Ngwana ke ga ntshepe, ngwana ke o very disrespectful towards other people, towards teachers, towards the society, towards their peers. Disrespectful. Disrespect eo e tswa kae? Ga o bua le ngwana wa gago, o mo tlhalosetsa gore ngwanaka motho o buisiwa jaana, o dirisa mafoko a ntseng jaana go buisa motho, ke sone setho se se siameng seo, o mmolelele. Ebe kamoso o na le ene ko mmolong, mongwe a ba mo dira sengwe, wena o bo itha o re you are defending your child ka go buisa motho ole ka mafoko a sa siamang. Ngwana wa gago yo o mmoleletseng gore motho o buisiwa yana a ba go bona o buisa motho ka tsela e sele. That disturbs their behavior because ene wa go kgapela ko thoko se no se mmolelela a ba a ya go dira se wena no se dira. This is a common mistakes in a lot of parents. We tend to expect our children to be good, to have good conduct. But then we find ourselves in situations whereby we are trying to defend our children. To us, it appears as if we are defending them, but in reality, we are destroying them and damaging them because you find yourself disrespecting another person in front of your child, even though you say you are protecting your child. But the disrespect that they see you portraying in public or before that person uh, is what they are going to act out in the society. Let's take another example. Ngwana o tlo ba sa dire sentle ko sekolong, ebe wena o le kana ngwana o tlo ba sa tsewe sentle ko sekolong, ebe wena o le mogolo o le mmaagwe o le rraagwe o bo ya ko sekolong, ga pele ga ngwana yo o bo ya go roga teacher-a, o thapatsa teacher-a. Some go to an extent ya gore wa lwa ko sekolong o lwantsha ma-teacher-a ka goreng ga ba tse ngwana go sentle. I'm not saying don't protect your child. I'm saying when you are in the act of protecting your child, remember that they are looking at how you are taking care of that situation. That is why you see today we have abusive men in relationships because they learn the disrespect, they learn to abuse, they learn to fight from how they saw their parents reacting to situations in front of them. So you having that good behavior, it builds respect because it is easy for your child to respect you when you are well behaved. Let's take another example. You cannot expect your child to respect you when you are a drunkard and you are always coming at home drunk, uncontrollable, saying things you are not supposed to be saying with children, talking uh, adult things with kids, behaving in an immoral way in front of your children, and then expect them to respect you. That is impossible. Because to them, ga o tantsalo o kgona go lemoga gore motho yo ga e tekanela ebile motho yo o bua dilo hele tsa sa tshwana gore a ba di bua. This is what we see most of the time in the society. We have many people who drink. I'm not saying don't drink, but I'm saying after you drink, how do you act in front of your children? That should be a responsibility upon you to make sure that even when you drink, even when you are drunk or you drink, make sure you don't end up in front of your child doing anything that is out of order. Because if you do that, they will lose respect for you. There are many old people in the streets that children don't respect simply because of how they portray themselves, simply because they don't have values. And there's an issue again when it comes to this particular one of respect. It happens most of the time with single parents. Single parent is either a single father or a single mother. Most of the time, single mothers. You cannot be bringing different men in your home in front of your child and expect them to respect you. Because as they grow up, they realize this thing that values matter. Who you bring into your home matters. But many parents, we end up, I'm not saying don't date or don't date when you're a single parent. Date, but be discreet about it to your children. Don't act it out in front of them. Don't show them everything that goes on in your life. They have to know certain portions and not know other portions. Yaanong mathata ke ha o ta o direla gape le ga bone a bona gore mama o tile le motho o tsatseng ka moso o ta le motho ka moso mongwe o ta le motho kgwedi e taya ke motho ka moso mongwe ke motho go nna go teng motho o ke rrago ka moso mongwe go tšhentšhitswe gate yo ke rrago ka moso mongwe go tšhentšhitswe gate yo ke rrago. Your child will lose respect for you if you keep on doing that. It is your responsibility to keep your life, relationship life, private from your children until you are certain of that man that you can simply say to your children, this is your father is your stepfather or what, but this is your father. This is the man that you'll always see me with. So it is easy for children to respect you when you uphold those values yourself.